Hi, I'm Jim Riley. Welcome to Hometown Spotlight. I have two very interesting guests today. I think you're going to like this show. Rob Gellis, nice to have you back.
Thank you very much.
What was the last visit we had?
In 2013, when I was master of Hudson Widow Sons Lodge number 7.
Those are the Masons. And don't forget, what building are we in?
We're in the original St. John's Hall, the Masonic Lodge of Hudson 7.
Right, and it's corner of 3rd and Union in Hudson. Whenever we need history, we go review history, we bring Robin to do that. And with him is Garrett Roach.
Yes,
nice
sir.
to meet you. We've had a nice chat before we went on the air, so you and I are very comfortable with each other.
Most definitely.
And I really appreciate you coming by today. It's good for all of us.
I appreciate you having me.
Well,
thank you so much.
All right, let's go back now, because you're going to tell me about your group, and we'll get into details in a second. But you're already on the radio. When, what station, when can people hear you?
WGXC 90.7 FM.
Right.
Approximately every third Monday, the host, whose name is Kieran Riley, coincidentally.
Right.
Wonderful gentleman. Very positive fellow himself.
Yeah.
And his program is called the Afternoon Program with Kieran Riley and Friends. And that runs between 4 and 6 p.m. every Monday.
Okay.
But he's been putting us on his program now about every 3 weeks out.
Which is nice.
Yes, and he's been giving us almost the entire second hour.
Yeah.
Between 5 or 5:15 until 6.
Well, you really have to do that. If you're going to get into a discussion, let people know about your group and the things you're doing, you have to have some time.
Absolutely, 100%. And we talk about anything and everything on there.
I like that. Rob's staring. He wants to get back on again. Okay, so why did you have Garrett come and join us today?
I was here, as I said, 4 years ago.
Right.
And I knew Lori Pulver a long time, working to get, helping the lodge. The Hudson Lodge have their original minutes book in the building of the lodge.
Right.
And Joseph Brand's picture here. We came here and 4 of us spoke, and listening to what Garrett wanted to do in the radio, said, why don't we contact Lori Pulver? I have a contact.
Right.
He contacted her, and here we are.
Well, that's good. Lori, just for you folks out there, Lori is a person who kind of anchors this whole operation in Hudson for Mid-Hudson Cablevision. Great gal, longtime friend, a very good friend of the community, huh?
Yes.
Yes, she is. All right, so tell us about your group, Garrett. Tell us what you're interested in, why people really want to hear this message today.
Well, one day I was sitting writing a letter to a pen pal. This was approximately 2 years ago. I do a lot of postal pen paling. Besides electronic communication,
right.
I do belong to an organization a pen pal in Texas introduced me to called the Letter Writers Alliance. Their website is letterwriters.org. The directors are Donovan and Kathy, lovely ladies, and they work out of a small office based in Chicago. And they do traditional pen pal matching. Some days I go to my P.O. box here in Hudson, I have 3 or 4 letters in my post, which is amazing to know. There's many people out there still keeping that art and tradition alive.
I like the whole idea, and I'm not anti-electronics, folks. Based on a TV show here, Hometown Spotlight, I'm certainly not anti-electronics, but I like the traditional form as well.
Yes, at the same time,
yeah.
On one of our broadcasts on the radio station, I had my friend from Brazil come on over a Skype call.
Nice.
And then the last broadcast, a gentleman from Tralee County, Cary Island, came on over a phone call.
Nice.
Through the radio. But one day I was sitting writing a letter to a pen pal, and I said, I had just lost my mom. Mm-hmm. She passed away in May 2015, chronic kidney disease, which I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But I was thinking, you know, the way the world is and the powers that be, they gain their money and their power, so much of it off of hate and negativity. I said, you know, there's power in positivity. That just popped into my head like that.
Right.
And I said, wouldn't it be something if I used both the pen paling and local resources to form a positivity group? Right. And it's not even, I use the word group just to give the idea of people gathering.
Right.
Or communicating I consider it local, national, and international.
Right.
But not even a group or organization, you know, that one pays to join, so to speak, or
Right.
any of that. It's just good friends coming together to keep each other afloat. It's possibly so primitive, the idea, but yet one that this society could use more than ever.
Yeah.
That it's may perhaps even set even a small precedent. Just the idea of it, and you know, no money involved whatsoever, just people coming together, exchanging ideas, bonding, as they say at Walgreens, where I work here in Hudson. Your engagement creates experiences to execute the initiatives and create efficiency. That's the 4 E's,
Right.
we call them,
Yeah.
that we're required to remember.
Well, just so the people are aware of it, I'm a mature person. I'm not giving you an age. Rob's looking at me like I'm mature. I'm a man of mature years. I go back to a very interesting person by the name of Dr. Robert Vincent Peale. Remember, Norman Vincent Peale, excuse me.
I've
I
heard the
misspoke.
name.
The Power of Positive Thinking. That was his book. And that's what he shared with the world. And that's the theme that I like about what you're talking about today.
Someone brought that book up to me in the last year or so. I had heard of Norman Vincent Peale, but I never heard of his, you know, I heard the name, but I
Right.
didn't know any of his books or anything about him or who he was. But someone mentioned to me that he wrote a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. And I said, that's amazing, because I just thought to myself one day, the quote, I came up with it basically, popped into my head, this power and positivity.
Yeah, and it's funny because at that time, I think it was a voice that people were ready for. It was a message that people were ready for. And I think, as you said today, we really want to think in terms of being positive and creating positive environments so that people can thrive. I like that idea, and that's what you're sharing with people now.
100%, Jim. Positively.
Positively.
Thank you, my friend.
Rob kind of liked that. I like it whenever he reacts and smiles and gets me a little loud.
I know that smile.
I know I'm doing well. So it's not a formal group per se, but what is your concept? What are you looking at going forward?
Bringing as many people together as possible. And just going back to the concept of singing, dancing, laughing together, just in public or in the home, just a very basic concept of being happy and content in life without all of the other clouds and distractions.
Right.
And much of this stems from personal experiences that I've endured as well, both within family, inside family issues, and then other members of society as well.
Well, you and I were talking before we went on the air, is that you talk about just losing your mom. And I had the experience early in life where I lost my parents early.
Very sorry.
And people on occasion would act as if it was some particularly difficult thing for me, as a young person and having this experience. I found whenever you lose a parent, it really doesn't matter if it's early, late in life, it's always heartbreaking, and it always kind of centers you to a point where you want to say, I'm going to do something positive with my life, because that's what we all need at these times. Is that how you look at it?
I couldn't have said it better myself, Jim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Because we're going to experience those things. We're all going to experience those losses. And again, whenever it happens, it's always terribly traumatic. And we have to survive that and move on. And if we can do that and be positive at the same time, maybe we can share that with others.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's go back to your radio show. I'm kind of interested in that. What are some of the themes, some of the things you've been discussing over the past few months?
As I say, this is a very basic answer, but just to get the general idea out there, anything and everything.
Right.
We discuss, of course, the positivity group, but also there's many others I have on, as the host is Kieran Riley, as I said, but
Right.
who both of us have on collectively as guests, and I'll often hand the mic over to them, so to speak, and just let them go.
Right.
I talk about besides the positivity group, the pen paling I do, and
I
also,
like that concept, the pen paling group. I like that.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. It's sort of, I'm incorporating the two, the pen paling and the positivity group. Rob has spoken a bit about Columbia County history,
Right.
which he's done an excellent job on. Our friend Chris comes on and plays the ukulele. And
So you just won me with ukulele.
We
You know what I'm
sing-
saying? Yeah, well, whether you're going downhill or Tiny Tim, ukulele. Again, it's a joyous instrument. So no, no, because
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
I was a little boy, and I saw him on
did you?
TV.
too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the other thing I like about the whole notion of positivity is when you look at life as a celebration.
That's how I look at every day.
Yeah.
For instance, one day that gets me is Mother's Day. You have people, you know, they'll buy them mother flowers or a little gift or what have you for Mother's Day, but the rest of the year, they don't quite treat their mother up to par necessarily.
Or they just take it for granted.
Let's just put it lightly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Jim. And my mother and I both, we celebrated every day.
Right.
And I celebrated her every day by being her caregiver and such, as we were discussing before
Right.
we went on air. And it's the best way that I find to look at every day is I just get up and I say, no matter what looks me in the eye today, I'm determined to enjoy this day. I'm
Right.
determined to celebrate it.
Right.
And I know there's forces out there that want to prevent me from doing such.
Well, and again, life itself can be pretty brutal.
Yes.
You know, without the negative life, because life contains everything, of course. It's interesting when you mention caregiving for your mother. When I went through an experience that we discussed earlier, a grave illness that I had at one time, what I really took away from that experience was my daughter, who I'm crazy about, my daughter Lisa, had a chance to be heroic, to worry about me, to be there when I got out of the operating room. Sometimes you have to allow your children to be heroes. Not always just do for them, as we talked about mothers and Mother's Day, you know, not always do for them, but give them a chance to be heroic. Give them a chance to do what they really want to do for you. A sharing kind of thing. See, that's what I like about your pen pal concept and the positive concept. We're talking about sharing and sharing
Yes.
positive experiences. Very important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Now, let's
means
get
the
back
world
to
hear that.
we got to let Rob say something, because, I mean, he went to all this trouble to bring us together. We got to let Rob say something. Let's do a little something with the Masons, just because we have you trapped here. Now, what lodge are you involved with?
Hudson Widow Sons Lodge number 7. It's in Livingston, New York.
Right, and that was the one that was here.
Yes.
And you transferred down there.
Yes.
And fortunately for us folks, you should know that Mid-Hudson Cablevision, when they acquired the property, was very careful to keep this in traditional form. They really restored the building and really kept it as it should be for those members who have the fond memories, and I think that's important. So as you went down to Livingston and you moved down there, we have a mutual friend who's a member. In fact,
Yes.
he used to be my boss, Jim Campion,
Oh, you worked at the college?
20 years.
Really?
In fact, I was one of Jim Campion's directors. At that time, he was Dean of Community Services. He's now the current president of Columbia Creek Community College, doing a wonderful job over there. And he's one of your members.
Yes, he helped me when I became master. He gave me all this information about the building and who would help me out in the building and take care of the grounds. So
Right.
he still clears the grounds and picks up things and quietly attends to the lodge in Livingston.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that does things. He doesn't talk about doing them. He just does them. That's good. We're glad you're here again. Now, one of the things you threatened to come back again some other time in the future. We'll do some more discussions of the Masonic Lodge and what's going on. So I think that would be good. We'll make an appointment later on with Lori. We'll do that for sure. Garrett, let's look at this now. As we talk to people and we have this experience here, This is an opportunity for you to share with folks out there what you would like them to know about your views. Again, it's not a formal organization, but maybe down the road you might want to connect the pen paling in the group. Give us some notions you have of the future of this whole concept that you've generated.
Well, I'm seeking to bring as many people together as possible. This is locally, nationally, internationally. Just having and sharing intelligent conversations, laughing, singing, dancing, also bringing back laughing and just more outwardly emotions in public as well, especially public singing, which, you know, other than karaoke and such, which is nice, you don't generally see people singing anymore.
No.
Actually, the other night I was in town and there was a camp group, as I discovered they were when I met them and began talking with them in Wonder Bar here. And they were walking down the street, they were singing, and they were from a combination of places, because they were here with a camp, I believe it was over in Laverick or something, I'm not sure, but there were some from England,
Right.
Ireland, Germany, and South Africa.
Isn't that
And
wonderful?
they were
when you
walking
get,
down the street
yeah, get
singing,
young
and
people in that environment. I just think that's a wonderful opportunity for us as well to have folks visit and do that. Yeah, there's a joyous nature to singing. I'm not saying you want to hear me sing well, but that's a different discussion.
You want to-
But I have a great passion for music.
Oh.
So I can tell you that brings joy to me personally when you talk about that. The other thing, like, I'm trying to think of the event in the winter. Where do they have Hudson? What's that holiday walk?
The winter walk?
The winter walk. And you have those experiences. And they have carolers and they have singers. And it really brings a real festive air.
Yes,
to the season.
I've been to that. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. But I'm also speaking of, like, outside of festivities. Years
Right.
ago, you'd see people singing in public, and it wasn't for any particular holiday or event.
Right.
It was for celebrating every day, so to speak.
Right.
And the main aspect of the positivity group is, as I say, bringing people together locally, nationally, internationally. I enjoy promoting the pen paling,
Right.
which has become, through traditional letters, pen and paper, which has
Right.
become a lost art.
Right.
And also, you know, it can help when the frustration kicks in from the signals dropping
Right.
on the Wi-Fi, on the phones, what have you.
Yeah.
And
Which does happen. Yeah.
It's so much more genuine than people just shooting electronic messages back and forth to each
Right.
other into infinity, you know?
Right. And again, I don't want to be negative towards electronics. We love Mid-Hudson Cablevision. But one thing that distresses me is when I'm doing my walk in the morning on Grandview Avenue in Catskill, and somebody's texting on their phone and chasing me into the bushes. I really wish they'd pick another time to do it and maybe sit down, pick up a piece of paper and a pen and actually write a letter to somebody, rather than
course.
just, you know, nonsensically, hi, I'm turning a corner now, hi, I'm going to buy a loaf of bread later, which has absolutely no value to anyone. Plus, it's a bit dangerous, but we'll leave that discussion for another day. So, if someone wanted to get excited about what you're talking about, and I think people will, that's why we're together today. Do you want to give them some information how to contact you? I leave that open to you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Garrett Roach, P.O. Box 91, Hudson, New York, 12534. Mobile number is area code 518-291-7460. Email is ROCHE, M as in Mary, G as in George, at yahoo.com. That's roachmg@yahoo.com. Or my Skype contact is Garrett, all lowercase, Garrett_Roach, GARRETT_ROCHE.
See, he does paper and pen, but he's got the electronics down too. Now, Rob, parting words from you. What do you want to tell us about? You were talking about some history, some things you're going to do. Tell us a little bit about that.
Probably at the end of the month, I'll be doing a half an hour local Columbia County history show on WGXC 90.7 in Hudson, but it also has a station out in Accra. That's the main place in Accra.
Accra. Is that Acre?
Acre, I'm wrong.
I always said Acre.
No,
Am I wrong too?
Garrett knows in Greene County, you know, it's like Cairo. You don't say Cairo over in Greene County, you say Cairo. But it's fine, I just wanted to clarify so people know they're out in Acre as well.
Okay.
Yes, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Hometown Spotlight. Garrett Roach.
Yes, and
Positivity.
also WGXC.org, 90.7 FM. You can type in my name, Garrett Roach, and you can listen to the archives of our broadcasts on there. And you click on the headlines, which display audio next to them.
See, I love this. I'm getting all kinds of electronic education here. And Rob Gillis, who stops by once in a while, they do let him in the office because, again, he's a former Mason. So when he rings the buzzer, they have to let him in.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for coming to visit
Mr. Rock.
again. Thanks for bringing
Thank
Garrett
you for
with you.
having
We
us.
appreciate that.
That was great.
Again, let me just read this so people know. Positivity Group. Again, not a formal group per se, but perhaps in the future we may see some development in that regard. Garrett Roach, Rob Gillis, Jim Riley, Hometown Spotlight. We look forward to having you join us again real soon.